Consistent self-care is one of the most powerful yet underestimated forces behind youthful aging. When older men appear younger than their years, it is rarely because of a single secret product or a lucky genetic gift. No. It is more often the result of thousands of small, repeated choices that communicate respect for the body. Self-care is not about vanity or perfection. It is about recognizing that the body keeps an accurate record of how it is treated, and over time that record becomes visible in energy levels, posture, skin quality, and overall presence. Men who practice consistent self-care understand that the body thrives on rhythm and predictability. Regular sleep is a cornerstone of this rhythm. Quality sleep allows the body to repair tissues, regulate hormones, and restore mental clarity. When sleep is neglected over many years, the effects accumulate. Fatigue dulls the eyes, stress hormones rise, and recovery slows. In contrast, men who prioritize rest tend to wake with steadier energy and clearer focus. Their faces often show fewer signs of chronic strain because their nervous systems have regular opportunities to reset. Nutrition is another essential dimension of self-care. Youthful older men are not necessarily following strict or extreme diets. Instead, they tend to build sustainable eating patterns. They consume foods that nourish rather than deplete them. Balanced meals with adequate protein, healthy fats, and nutrient-rich vegetables support skin elasticity, muscle maintenance, and steady metabolism. Hydration also plays a quiet but critical role. Water supports circulation, digestion, and cellular repair. When the body is consistently hydrated, skin appears healthier and energy remains more stable throughout the day. Consistent self-care also includes attentiveness to preventive health. Men who age well often engage with healthcare proactively rather than reactively. Routine checkups, early attention to physical discomfort, and sensible lifestyle adjustments prevent small issues from growing into chronic problems. This proactive mindset reduces long-term stress on the body. It reflects an understanding that caring for health is not a one-time event but an ongoing relationship with oneself. Equally important is the way these men manage their daily energy. They respect their limits without interpreting them as weakness. Rest is not seen as laziness, and activity is not pursued to the point of exhaustion. This balanced approach prevents cycles of burnout that can accelerate aging. By pacing themselves and allowing time for recovery, they maintain a steadier reserve of vitality. This steadiness is often visible in how they move and interact with others. They appear grounded rather than depleted. Self-care also extends to grooming and personal presentation, but not in a superficial sense. Maintaining hygiene, skincare, and a clean appearance reflects self-respect. Simple routines such as protecting skin from excessive sun exposure, maintaining oral health, and dressing in a way that feels comfortable and confident can subtly influence how a person is perceived and how they feel internally. When men invest modest, consistent attention in these areas, the cumulative effect enhances their overall presence. Another layer of consistent self-care is the cultivation of mental space. Men who maintain youthful energy often create small rituals that allow them to decompress. This might include quiet reflection, reading, light stretching, or spending time outdoors. These moments act as buffers against the relentless pace of daily demands. By intentionally stepping away from stress, they protect their nervous systems from chronic overload, which in turn supports healthier aging. Perhaps the most significant aspect of consistent self-care is the mindset behind it. These men do not treat self-care as an occasional reward after hardship. Instead, they view it as a non-negotiable foundation of daily life. This mindset fosters discipline without rigidity. It encourages steady habits rather than dramatic overhauls. Over years and decades, this steady approach compounds into visible resilience. When self-care becomes a consistent practice, it shapes identity. A man begins to see himself as someone worthy of maintenance and respect. This internal belief influences countless micro-decisions, choosing a nourishing meal over a convenient one, going to bed on time instead of scrolling late into the night, or taking a walk instead of remaining sedentary. None of these choices are dramatic on their own, yet together they create a powerful trajectory towards sustained vitality. In the end, consistent self-care is less about chasing youth and more about preserving function. Youthful appearance becomes a byproduct of a body that has been supported rather than neglected. The men who look younger than their age are often those who have quietly honored their bodies every day. Their habits demonstrate patience, awareness, and commitment. Over time, these qualities manifest outwardly as energy, clarity, and a presence that seems to resist the usual markers of aging. Movement is one of the most visible signatures of youth. When older men appear younger than their age, it is often because their bodies still carry the fluidity, strength, and responsiveness that come from lifelong physical activity. Movement is not just about structured exercise sessions or intense workouts. It is about building a lifestyle in which the body is regularly engaged, challenged, and supported. Over time, this consistent engagement preserves mobility, posture, and energy in ways that directly influence how aging is expressed. Men who maintain a youthful appearance tend to view movement as a natural part of daily living rather than a temporary obligation. They incorporate activity into ordinary routines. Walking instead of driving short distances, taking stairs, stretching after long periods of sitting, or engaging in recreational sports keeps the body in motion throughout the day. This frequent moderate activity improves circulation and oxygen delivery, which nourishes tissues and supports cellular repair. The result is often a visible vitality that cannot be replicated by occasional bursts of intense exercise alone. Strength plays a crucial role in how the body ages. As men grow older, muscle mass naturally declines if it is not actively maintained. Those who look younger often prioritize some form of strength training, whether through resistance exercises, bodyweight movements, or physically demanding hobbies. Maintaining muscle supports joint stability, posture, and metabolic health. Strong muscles help the body move with confidence and ease, reducing the stiffness and fragility that many people associate with aging. Flexibility and balance are equally important components of a movement-centered lifestyle. Gentle stretching, yoga, or mobility exercises keep joints supple and reduce the risk of injury. When the body moves freely, posture improves and tension decreases. Good posture alone can make a person appear more youthful by opening the chest, aligning the spine, and promoting efficient breathing. Men who invest time in maintaining flexibility often move with a smoothness that signals ongoing physical competence. Another key benefit of regular movement is its effect on the cardiovascular system. Activities that elevate the heart rate strengthen the heart and lungs, increasing endurance and stamina. This improved capacity translates into greater everyday energy. Men who stay physically active often exhibit a natural alertness and readiness that contrasts sharply with the sluggishness that can accompany sedentary habits. Their faces may appear brighter and their movements more decisive, reflecting a body that is accustomed to sustained activity. Movement also has a profound influence on the brain. Physical activity stimulates the release of chemicals that support mood, focus, and cognitive function. Over time, this neurological support helps maintain mental sharpness and emotional stability. A clear, engaged mind contributes to a youthful demeanor just as much as a healthy body. When men move regularly, they are not only preserving muscles and joints, but also reinforcing the neural pathways that sustain motivation and resilience. Consistency is more important than intensity. Men who age gracefully tend to favor sustainable routines over extreme regimens. They choose activities they genuinely enjoy, which increases the likelihood of long-term adherence. Whether it is swimming, cycling, dancing, or gardening, enjoyable movement becomes a source of pleasure rather than pressure. This positive association encourages repetition, and repetition is what ultimately produces lasting change. Recovery is an often overlooked aspect of an active lifestyle. Men who maintain youthful energy understand that rest and movement are complementary. They allow their bodies time to repair after exertion, preventing chronic strain. Adequate recovery supports muscle growth, reduces inflammation, and sustains enthusiasm for continued activity. This balanced approach avoids the cycle of overexertion followed by burnout that can discourage consistent exercise. Social elements frequently enhance movement habits. Participating in group activities or exercising with friends introduces accountability and enjoyment. Shared movement experiences create connections and reinforce commitment. The combination of physical exertion and social engagement amplifies the benefits, contributing to both physical vitality and emotional well-being. Over years and decades, a movement-oriented lifestyle shapes how the body carries itself. Joints remain more responsive, muscles more defined, and coordination more precise. These qualities manifest in everyday gestures, from the way a man stands to the way he walks into a room. Observers often interpret this ease of movement as youthfulness, even when chronological age suggests otherwise. Ultimately, integrating movement into daily life is an investment in long-term function. It preserves independence, confidence, and adaptability. Men who remain active are continually reinforcing the message that their bodies are meant to be used, not merely maintained. This philosophy fosters a dynamic relationship with aging, where physical capability is nurtured rather than surrendered. The visible outcome is a presence marked by energy, balance, and a quiet assurance that reflects years of consistent engagement with the body. Emotional regulation is a quiet but powerful factor in how aging appears on the human face and body. Men who look younger than their chronological age often share an ability to manage their emotional world with steadiness and awareness. This does not mean they suppress feelings or pretend that difficulties do not exist. Rather, they have developed skills that allow them to experience emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Over time, this balanced relationship with emotions protects both mental and physical health. Chronic emotional stress leaves visible marks. Persistent tension can tighten facial muscles, disrupt sleep, and elevate stress hormones that accelerate wear on the body. Men who maintain a youthful presence tend to recognize the cost of unmanaged stress. They pay attention to their internal signals and respond before pressure accumulates to damaging levels. This early awareness allows them to adjust their behavior, seek support, or take restorative breaks when needed. A key element of emotional regulation is the capacity to pause before reacting. Instead of responding impulsively to frustration or conflict, these men create a small space between feeling and action. In that space, they evaluate the situation and choose a response that aligns with their long-term well-being. This deliberate approach reduces unnecessary conflict and preserves emotional energy. Over years, fewer emotional extremes translate into a calmer nervous system and more relaxed outward appearance. Self-awareness plays a central role in this process. Men who age well emotionally tend to reflect on their patterns and triggers. They understand which situations provoke strong reactions and prepare strategies to handle them constructively. This might involve reframing negative thoughts, practicing deep breathing, or stepping away from escalating interactions. Such strategies are not signs of weakness. They are tools that maintain equilibrium in demanding environments. Healthy expression of emotion is equally important. Suppressed feelings often resurface as tension, irritability, or physical discomfort. Men who regulate emotions effectively allow themselves to acknowledge sadness, anger, or disappointment without judgment. They communicate concerns respectfully and seek resolution rather than avoidance. And so this openness prevents emotional buildup and fosters authentic relationships, which in turn provide support and reassurance. Resilience is another hallmark of strong emotional regulation. Life inevitably presents setbacks, losses, and unexpected challenges. Men who appear youthful often interpret these events as temporary and manageable rather than catastrophic. They focus on adaptation and learning instead of dwelling on blame or regret. This resilient mindset reduces prolonged stress responses and encourages forward movement. The body benefits from shorter periods of heightened tension and quicker returns to baseline calm. Emotional regulation is closely tied to empathy and social understanding. Men who manage their emotions well are often attentive to the feelings of others. They listen actively and respond with consideration, which strengthens social bonds. Positive relationships act as buffers against stress and contribute to a sense of belonging. Feeling connected and understood promotes emotional stability and reinforces healthy coping mechanisms. Another aspect of emotional balance is the cultivation of perspective. Youthful older men frequently maintain a broad view of life's events. They recognize that many problems are temporary and perfection is neither attainable nor necessary. This perspective reduces the pressure to control every outcome. By accepting uncertainty and imperfection, they conserve emotional resources and maintain a steadier outlook. Daily habits can support emotional regulation in subtle ways. Practices such as mindfulness, journaling, or quiet reflection encourage men to process experiences rather than carry them unresolved. Time spent in nature or engaging in creative activities can also soothe the nervous system. These routines act as regular maintenance for emotional health, preventing accumulation of unaddressed stress. Importantly, men who regulate emotions effectively do not equate control with rigidity. They remain flexible and open to change. When circumstances shift, they adjust expectations and strategies instead of resisting reality. This adaptability reduces frustration and preserves energy. A flexible emotional stance allows them to navigate transitions with grace, which is often reflected in a composed demeanor. Over decades, the benefits of emotional regulation accumulate. A calmer nervous system supports better sleep, healthier immune function, and more stable energy levels. Facial expressions tend to rest in a neutral or positive state rather than chronic tension. Observers may interpret this relaxed presence as youthfulness, sensing vitality that extends beyond physical features. Ultimately, emotional regulation is an investment in internal harmony. It acknowledges that aging is influenced not only by physical habits, but also by how experiences are interpreted and integrated. Men who cultivate emotional balance create an environment within themselves that supports recovery, connection, and growth. This inner stability radiates outward, shaping a presence that appears grounded, resilient, and enduringly youthful. Strong social connection is a powerful influence on how men age, both visibly and internally. When older men appear younger than their years, there is often a network of meaningful relationships supporting them. Human beings are inherently social, and the quality of our connections affects stress levels, brain health, and even physical resilience. Men who maintain close ties with others tend to carry a sense of engagement and vitality that is difficult to replicate in isolation. One of the most important aspects of social connection is the sense of belonging it provides. Men who nurture friendships and family relationships rarely feel completely alone with their thoughts or challenges. This shared experience reduces emotional burden and buffers the impact of stress. When concerns are discussed openly with trusted people, they often feel more manageable. The nervous system responds to supportive interaction by lowering stress responses, which over time protects the body from chronic strain. Conversation itself is a form of mental exercise. Engaging with others requires listening, interpreting social cues, and expressing ideas clearly. These processes stimulate cognitive function and help maintain mental sharpness. Men who regularly participate in discussions, storytelling, or collaborative activities keep their minds active in dynamic ways. This ongoing stimulation supports memory and attention, contributing to a lively and alert presence. Social relationships also encourage healthier behaviors. When men are embedded in communities, they are more likely to participate in shared activities such as walking, sports, or group hobbies. These interactions create gentle accountability and motivation. A friend's invitation to join an activity can counteract the inertia that sometimes accompanies aging. In this way, connection indirectly supports physical health as well as emotional well-being. Emotional validation is another key benefit of strong social ties. Being seen and understood by others reinforces a stable sense of identity. Men who feel valued in their relationships tend to carry themselves with confidence and ease. This internal security often translates into relaxed body language and open facial expressions. Such nonverbal cues are frequently interpreted as signs of youthfulness and approachability. Support networks become especially important during periods of change or difficulty. Life transitions, whether related to career, family, or health, can introduce uncertainty. Men with strong connections are better equipped to navigate these shifts because they can draw on shared wisdom and encouragement. Knowing that assistance is available reduces anxiety and fosters resilience. The body benefits from this reduced tension through steadier energy and improved recovery. Social connection also provides opportunities for laughter and play. Humor is a potent antidote to stress. Shared laughter releases tension, strengthens bonds, and creates positive memories. Men who regularly experience lighthearted interaction often maintain a playful outlook that counters the seriousness sometimes associated with aging. This playfulness can be seen in spontaneous smiles and animated gestures that convey enthusiasm for life. Importantly, the depth of connection matters more than the number of acquaintances. A few genuine relationships built on trust and mutual respect can be more sustaining than a wide circle of superficial contacts. Men who invest time in cultivating authenticity tend to experience richer emotional exchanges. These meaningful interactions promote empathy and understanding, reinforcing emotional balance. Reciprocity is another dimension of healthy social networks. Youthful older men are not only recipients of support, they also offer it. Helping others fosters a sense of usefulness and purpose. Acts of generosity strengthen self-worth and deepen bonds. Contributing to the well-being of friends or community members creates a cycle of positive engagement that sustains motivation and optimism. Maintaining social connection requires intention. As responsibilities and routines change over time, relationships can drift without deliberate effort. Men who prioritize connection schedule regular interactions, whether through shared meals, phone calls, or group activities. They recognize that relationships, like physical health, require maintenance. This commitment preserves continuity and prevents isolation. Technology can complement in-person interaction by keeping distant relationships active. Thoughtful use of communication tools allows men to remain connected across geographic boundaries. However, those who age gracefully often balance digital contact with face-to-face experiences, understanding that physical presence carries unique emotional richness. Over the years, strong social networks create a tapestry of shared experiences. Memories of collaboration, celebration, and mutual support reinforce a sense of continuity. This narrative of connection shapes identity and provides emotional grounding. Men who feel anchored in community often display a calm assurance that reflects internal stability. Ultimately, social connection nourishes both mind and body. It moderates stress, stimulates cognition, and reinforces healthy behavior. The outward signs of this nourishment appear in expressive faces, engaged conversation, and energetic movement. Youthfulness in this context is not merely a matter of appearance, but a reflection of sustained participation in the social fabric of life.